Could you kind of give a broad definition of the world of positioning?
If you can own an idea and that pervades everything that you do in your business, then that's the most defensible. What is the enemy that's standing in the way of them getting to their great ambition? Because if they can just get to their great ambition without your product, then, and a lot of times the strategy itself is written in a very rational, boring way, and then you give it to a writer or a designer, and we can't make something emotional out of it because
we are back, boys and girls. Episode 40 of the Builders Growth Lab podcast. We're all back. Mallory, Laura, she was traveling. We've got a lot to talk about today. We've got Conor. He's our paid ads guy.
What up?
Here. Mallory, like I said, she's back from the Philippines.
Sup?
She's our branding and community expert. I'm Charlie. I'm the SEO guy. And special guest today is Josh Lowman. He talks about brand positioning. That's going to be a banger.
Right
interview.
up Mallory's alley.
Yes, this should be a great interview. He says, own your space is what that guy talks about. Own your space. Great content
Like
on
it.
LinkedIn. So we got a lot to talk about. We got, Mallory's back. We've got gold medals. We've got Open Claude, Claudebot, the lobster fuck thing making its run around. Poopy pants on a global scale. I cannot wait to talk about that. The pettiness that was on display at the AI Summit in India was freaking awesome. I love that. First thing first, Mallory, how was your week last week? Your travels? Where did you go? What did you do?
Oh my
Mallory, we
gosh,
missed
you
you, by the
guys.
way. We really missed you last
Who did you
week.
bully?
I missed you guys. I was like on the plane as I was, I think, chatting with them about some AI stuff. I was like, dang it, I want to talk about this in the pod. But I was in Manila last week to meet my family for the first time. I haven't been to the Philippines since I was 2. I'm half Filipino. I've got my Lola, my aunties, my uncles, my cousins. I have so many family members that live there. And so I was out there for less than a week. I just got back yesterday morning. That's 6 a.m. and I had a full work day. I had 2 Mondays yesterday, which was really by the time I hit the end of the day, I was like, I'm delirious. Like I've lived out 2 of the same days because of the time zones. But it was great. I mean, I've never been to Manila before. It's freaking chaotic. It's crazy in terms of the traffic and just like the street life, and the sort of differences between the rich and the poor is so obvious in the Philippines, which is a little depressing to some extent. But I went to a little town outside of Manila to meet my family in a small neighborhood that was very difficult to get to. And so we sang karaoke together.
Yes.
They loved it. There were times where I would turn off the karaoke machine and just sing, and the Filipinos loved that. And then I have photos of me I should share with you guys, but just like I was hanging out with 100 kids. I was giving out
Wow.
Jollibee to all of the kids because they're very poor. Like the neighborhood my family lives in is very poor. And so we got Jollibee for all the kids, 100 boxes of Jollibee that they could just eat chicken and rice and have a
Jollibee
proper
rules.
meal.
That's cool.
Jollibee is very expensive. It's not for us, it's expensive, but in the Philippines, it's expensive.
Yeah.
So that was a treat for them. We bought ice cream for all the kids. We had a big sort of, party. We had a pig that they cooked. They cooked a goat. And then my favorite part is they brought a box of over 50 balut eggs. And if you're not familiar with balut is a fermented embryo chicken egg. And so it's I have a photo or a video that I sent to these two, but everyone was like, you have to eat it, you have to try it. It's like this Filipino delicacy that is quite frankly the most nastiest thing I've ever put in my mouth. I literally gagged. Like it was so disgusting, you guys.
This is
I can't explain
what
how
we need.
disgusting it is.
This is what we
Okay.
need for the pod, where Mallory says that, and it's just a quick cut to the video of Mallory going.
Literally,
yeah.
That's fine. Put it in. There's a photo of me. But that's not an exaggeration. And then afterwards, I was gagging like 15 more times because I was like, oh my God, because when I choked on, I can taste the balut in my throat. So it's like,
No.
I don't know how to explain it. My dad was there and he was in the Marine Corps. He was stationed in the Philippines. So he had tried balut before, but the last time he tried it, it was an older embryo, which means there were feathers in it. So when you open up the egg, not
Oh
only do you see the beak and the
no.
head
Oh, what
and
the
the organs, but then you also
fuck?
have to deal with the feathers. And so they just gave me the balut. And luckily I had a young balut. So the young
Oh,
balut's like you could see the beak, the head, the organs, but there's not as many feathers. And then you just slurp that shit down with some vinegar, some salt, some I know, trust me. And then I I was like, I'm gonna throw up.
I'm like, oh man.
that
Yeah.
is
So they're like,
brutal.
here, and I'm like, and I put it in, and then I'm like, I literally am like, I can't swallow this. Like, and I'm a pretty adventurous eater. Like, I will eat liver, like I will eat, I don't know, I'll eat a lot of things, but this was just, I immediately spit it out, and all the Filipinos were like, ah, you American can't eat the balut. You know what I mean?
Good.
So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, anyways, it was very special for me to meet my family for the first time,
That's
try
cool.
some crazy shit.
That's cool.
Um,
Now, do you
and
speak it's Tagalog, right?
it's Tagalog. It's Tagalog.
Tagalog, sorry.
Mabuhay.
Okay, so you do. All right.
Mabuhay. Salamat po. Yeah. So I don't speak Tagalog. I don't speak that well. Everyone was trying to speak to me in Tagalog and they were confused. They were like, "You're brown. Why don't you speak Tagalog?" I don't understand. I'm like, I'm a bad Filipino. What do you like? So
Aw.
no, I don't. I don't. But my mom was with me there. And so my
Yeah,
mom was the translator. My mom speaks Tagalog. She speaks Bisaya. There's so many different dialects in the
Wow.
Philippines. So in
cool.
different islands. And so
Yeah, yeah.
one part of Manila, they speak Tagalog, and then another island, they're speaking a whole different language. So
Wow.
um yeah, it was a crazy trip to only, be there for like 5 days and come back. Like that was my weekend. I was in Manila this weekend. So, um, yeah, but now I'm back. So
Was that a
it's
She's
flight?
back.
crazy.
Was
I'm
that a flight
back.
from SF directly to Manila?
Yeah. So SF to Manila,
How long is
14
that?
hours, 14-hour flight.
Oh, that's
Um,
not that bad.
I mean,
Mm.
no, it's not. Because like basically I left at night. I took magnesium glycinate and a weed gummy. I passed the fuck out. And then I
Really?
woke up. Yeah, I woke up. I'm in Manila. That I adjusted the time zone pretty well. And then on the way back it was a little bit more rough. It's only 12 hours, but the time
Yeah.
difference, right? Like I
Hmm.
left at 10 a.m. in Manila time and I got back at 6 a.m. in San Francisco, right? Living out a full another Monday essentially. And it's hard to fall asleep in the
Yeah.
afternoon of Manila time when you're going to wake up in SF and have a full day, but it's fine. I had literally a full work day yesterday. I was able to power through. So, but yeah, I'm sad I missed last week, but I was living up in the Philippines and meeting my family and eating some weird shit. And I'm happy to be back in the States. I was telling my parents, I'm like, I already miss American food. Oh, and also I have to report, I played a lot of baccarat.
Oh,
Baccarat,
yes.
yes.
Yeah.
You
The
degenerate
Yeah.
cocktail.
animal. Yes.
Come
I
to
Tell
the
us
have
about
dark
it.
never,
side,
you guys,
Mallory.
I have
Come,
never
come.
gambled as much in my life than I did in the Philippines because in the casinos there, they love to play baccarat. So like not only like tables of live baccarat, but then they have the video version of baccarat with like all of the live sort of whatchamacallit, the people who host the games, the dealers
Dealers,
in
yeah.
the middle, or like basically doing two games at a time and you can join those tables, but then you can also play online. So it's dangerous. Like I won 15,000 pesos, 15,000. So it's like $200 ish.
Nice.
And then I think I maybe lost another 1,500 pesos. I was up. I left like being up.
Okay.
So that's a solid win for me.
It's all that
For
matters. You just got to know when to stop. Just
and
know when to stop, and you're good.
yeah, I saw that in Slack. I was like, wait, it doesn't Baccarat have the best odds? Like I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah,
Is
For
because
it?
the
it's the
for the
player.
player.
It's kind of like playing war, right? Because like essentially you either put your money on the player or you put it on the banker, right? And then they draw three cards
Banker's
each.
the dealer.
Banker's the dealer. Yep. Yep. So my dad's like always putting on the player. He's like, fuck the banker. We're always putting on the player. We're always right. And then I'm like, but I think that the banker will hit here. So let me put some money
Yeah.
on this. You know what I mean? But you can also bet on the tie and then you can bet on the odds. But I don't mess with that. I don't mess with betting on the odds because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna keep it simple, right? Player,
Yeah.
banker.
Okay. Okay.
So it's fun. I would definitely play again. And I'm kind of glad there's not a lot of baccarat tables or like here in the States because
In
I
SF.
actually am like
Kind
probably
of
wouldn't be
enjoyed
good
it.
for me. I kind of enjoyed it. I'm like, damn it, I
Yeah.
didn't want to like this. I didn't want to like this, but I like
Well,
it.
this makes me so happy. Got somebody. Got him.
Yes, got him. And also, just for a quick reference, I did reach out to press passes for a show in Vegas in early August. So if that happens, I don't know if we can all
Oh.
make it. Yeah, we'll probably. Well,
Uh,
we'll have two press passes because Connor won't be at the show.
One of my favorite places on earth, Vegas.
Yeah, he'll be
I just
in.
can't
Oh
stay
my
there longer than
God.
like 2 days. But
No,
Yeah.
hell no. Hell
It'll
no.
be
Who
fun.
can? Who can?
oh, I can. I just like that. I say I can't because it's not good for me if I do.
Because you'll become
So
a full degenerate after
yeah,
like 2 days.
I'll run off on the strip and Zoe won't find me. And before you know it, I'll just
Yeah, you have like
make a
half
new
your head
life in
shaved,
Vegas somewhere.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Tatted up on one
Uh,
side.
yeah.
Okay, last question on the trip. What was something that surprised you in terms of cuisine? What was something that surprised you as like really freaking good?
Ooh.
And what'd
Okay,
you have when
so
you came back? What was the first thing you had when you came back?
Comfort food. Yeah.
avocado. No, I'm
Okay.
just kidding. I had smoked salmon. I had a smoked salmon bagel, actually. That was the first thing I
All
had
right.
when I got
Yeah.
back.
Some lox.
I respect that.
Yeah. Okay. So Filipino cuisine is primarily meat and rice. So carbs and protein. And when I mean meat, it's like pork, beef, sometimes chicken, right? But like, okay. So before this trip, I didn't like this dish called bangus, which is essentially a fried fish. Okay. My mom used to like eat dried fish growing up and she'd put it in the cabinet and then it would smell up the whole. And I just like
Mm,
anything fishy related
mm.
I'm like, I don't want to eat this. I don't want to eat this. And so I had bangus with my breakfast. So rice, eggs, bangus, and it was freaking good. And I did not expect to like it. So
Mm.
there's that. And then also sisig, if you guys have never had like the sizzling sisig. So it's just pork that comes out and it's just literally like small pieces of pork belly, all different kinds of or all different parts of the pork, but you eat that with rice. I had a really good sisig out there, so that was yummy. But I actually lost weight. I thought I was going to gain weight, and I think it's because I was just trying so many things, and I'm like, I can only eat so much of this before
The
I'm like,
food there is, I'm sure, so much better. Like there's no preservatives. Like so when I went to Thailand last year, same thing. Like the fruit was
the
unbelievable
fruit was
there.
amazing.
It was
Yeah, the
so good there.
mangoes,
Yeah,
the
the
dragon fruit.
mangoes. When I was in Thailand, I'd never had sticky rice before. Mango sticky rice. It was It was freaking unbelievable. I dummied like almost like a bucket of it. The first
Sticky
time I
rice is
tried it.
delicious, dude.
Yeah, it
So
was.
good, so
Yeah, it
good.
was slamming.
I didn't like Halo Halo as much
What is
before
that
this, which
again?
is like, I don't know how to explain Halo. It's like ube ice cream, mango ice cream, but then it's like all these different jellies and like different
Mm.
toppings. Like,
I think I
and so
had
I
that.
didn't like it too much, like in a piece of flan and like it's literally like a big sundae with all these random things in it. Even like corn. Like when I say
Mm.
random, it's random.
That
So
is random.
yeah, it is random. I had that my last night. I was like, Mom, why is there corn in the hollow hollow? She's like, this is just a part of it. I'm like, okay. Well,
Okay,
I'll eat
alrighty
it.
then.
But it was good. It was good. And I actually never used to like hollow hollow, so I think I like it in the Philippines. But
Is
um,
lumpia like an Americanized thing, like
no,
for Filipino?
lumpia,
Or
lumpia is in the Philippines, and I
I
also
love
had
that
a lot of
stuff.
that. And in fact, when I went to go visit my family, they had a bunch of lumpia that they made.
Oh, it's so
So
Mm.
good.
yeah, lumpia, lechon, um, fried rice, like all those things are very, very popular. So, yeah, I think, yeah, I'm glad I went. And now I'm like, it's sad because like the kids, like I said, were so poor. Like one of the girls that I was hanging out with, she just had lice all over her hair and it was
Oh,
just crawling all over her
Oh,
hair. And I just broke my heart. And these
yeah.
kids, like they're playing with these toys that are not even toys. They're like half broken. So what
Mm.
I'm hoping to do is I'm going to start a box and I'm going to buy, I wish I brought more toys, but I'm going to start like a donation box of like just buying toys and I'm going to ship it back to the
That's cool.
Philippines.
oh, that's nice.
It broke my heart. I
Yeah.
really was
Yeah.
like, they don't even have like a normal toy. Like they don't have anything, quite
Mm.
frankly. Like they
Mm.
can't even like eat sort of thing. Like that's
No,
just, I
that's
think
sad.
like that really, look, I already knew the Philippines was poor before I went. Like I knew. But to kind of see it in real life,
Like to
not only just
experience
in
it
the
is,
neighborhoods, but then
yeah.
to see it in Manila, like and how people are living, I mean, and see the slums, like I just like it's yeah, I think it just puts into perspective on how we should be really grateful for what we have in terms of our quality of life. And
Yeah.
um, what's easy for me to buy here is like very difficult for people to have in the Philippines. So I think it just also gave me a new perspective to some extent. And like I said, I already knew it, but then when you see it in person and
Yeah.
you get to experience it yourself, I think it's a whole nother level of, yeah, realization is what I'm trying to say. So,
Okay,
but
last question for real this time. Did you buy me a sword?
no, I didn't buy you a sword. How the hell? If I buy you a sword, I would have told you, and I didn't even find
You
one.
asked for a
That's
sword, and Mallory goes, "Wait, they have swords here? Is that a thing?"
I
Like,
didn't
yes,
know.
you can buy swords there. Yes.
You guys,
Well,
like I
I
said,
didn't
I'm
know
a
it was a
bad
thing.
Filipino,
Yeah.
so
Is that like
I
a
don't
thing,
know.
Charlie? Like with
Yeah,
the
like
swords, or is it
in
just
like Southeast Asia or like that area,
Yeah, yeah.
you can get
My
swords and
sword.
daggers from like night markets, like night bazaars.
Yeah. We
Like
didn't
that's where
end
I
up
went.
going to one of the markets we were supposed to go to because we ran out of time. So if I had went, perhaps I would have seen the sword there. Or
They're
swords, I should
sick.
say.
They're so bad. I'll send a picture, but
Send
I mean,
me.
it's got to be like 4 feet. I mean,
It's insane.
it's a big
That
bastard.
thing's
Yeah,
probably heavy too.
and
I'm
it's
like, I
heavy.
can't.
Oh yeah, it's real too. Like I spent more on the shipping than on the sword itself.
I believe it.
But I also
I
bought
believe it.
daggers and throwing stars and nunchucks, and I tried to buy smoke grenades.
why'd you buy so much, Charlie?
I just
This is
wanted it.
Yeah, what are you trying
It's
to
all
do
the weapons.
here?
What are you doing? What are you planning?
Yeah, that's when I listen to my Transylvania music, and I just
Oh my God.
zone out on that stuff. So, um, cool stuff, Mallory. Awesome stuff. That's cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
how was your guys' weekend?
yeah, Connor. What did Connor got after it on? He was in one on Friday,
You
huh?
know, I love how it's like I feel like there's a theme here with me where don't want to be as much of a degenerate as I am, and I'm really just a degenerate.
You're the
So
biggest
it's
degenerate
okay.
on the pod.
I
Yeah.
embrace it and accept it. But so it was my birthday yesterday, so I did a lot of
Happy
celebrating. Thank
birthday! Oh
you,
my
thank you.
gosh.
Um,
Did you buy him a
so did
sword?
a lot of celebrating over the weekend, particularly on Friday. So like I hang out with like my group of guy friends at least once a month, right? But it's usually a weeknight. It doesn't really interfere with my plans with my wife during the weekends. This is the first Friday night I've had with this group of guys in probably like 6 months. So it
Ooh.
was like we talked to all of our wives. We're like, yep, we're gonna stay out late. Sorry, like we'll see you tomorrow morning, basically, right? Like
Yeah.
We'll see you Wednesday.
yeah. So we went out Friday night and got a reservation, and we actually want to do this once a month moving forward. Is we got to book like one of the better restaurants in New York City, like hard to get resis. So all of us, like, a few weeks before, we're just waiting until midnight when they came open. So we went to a place called Lord's, which is basically British food in New York City, but it's the best burger I've had in my entire life, hands
Oh.
down. They only serve 12 of the burgers a night. So we got the first table
Ooh,
in.
yeah.
The minute you walk in, they're like, "Do you want to reserve burgers?" We're like, "Yeah, we'll reserve 2 because we'll split it across all 4 of us and we'll get some other stuff." But they had this thing also called Oysters Kilpatrick, which is basically like broiled oysters with like bacon, like chunks of crispy bacon in it. It was amazing.
Oh,
The Scotch egg was fantastic. Like
this
just
menu
really,
looks really good. I'm looking at
it
it
was
right now. It
amazing.
looks
It was
bomb.
amazing.
Except the burger's not on the menu on their site. So is it like
No.
you
Ah.
have to ask for it,
You have
correct?
to add, like, yeah, when you first get in, like the first 12 people in are basically getting all the burgers because it's what they're known
Mm,
for. So
okay.
you reserve it when you first get in. You're like, yep, I want a burger. I'll let you know about the other stuff I want afterwards. Just make sure you hold on to some of those burgers. But
Is there
it
one
started
limit
out.
to? Pardon me. Is there a limit to burgers per table? Like you can only order.
No, we could have
Really?
ordered
So like
4.
one guy can order 12 burgers.
Well,
the
no.
first guy?
It's like 1 per person. I'm saying we
Oh,
could have
okay.
ordered 4. Yeah, you can't order like 3 burgers for yourself.
You got to
Yeah,
trade
You
up
know,
for
yeah,
for
yeah,
that,
that
yeah.
right?
person.
Yeah.
But
You can't
we
be
kind of
that
want.
much of a degenerate, okay, Charlie? Jeez.
Yeah, I can't be. I'm not that big, Charlie. Okay, like pretty big. But that was a really good time. Went
You're
out,
bulking.
and then before you know it, we're just all over Manhattan, like bouncing from bar to bar, going into a barcade at like
Yes.
had to have been 1 o'clock at barcade, and I'm just like, at that point, my head's spinning a little bit. So I'm like, can we just
Yep.
go next door, sit down, and just have some beers? And then before you know it, it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like, I gotta go. I'm surprised my wife isn't like calling, screaming at me, but she was great. She knew what it was. She knew we
No,
were going to have
she
some good
knew. You
times.
planned
But
ahead of time. She knew you were gonna have a
yeah.
good time with the boys. Yeah.
So that was really fun. Got to celebrate my birthday that way. Saturday was kind of a kick around day. Sunday, we had 2 feet of snow
Oh
in
Oh
yes,
yeah.
the
Oh,
we
God.
blizzard.
got blasted, which I'm okay with because you know what? I love nothing more than getting up on like a Sunday and it's like I don't really
Uh,
want to go out and do anything anyway. I just want to sit inside, throw on the
Yeah.
TV. We threw on the Olympics, the men's hockey game, watched that, watched America Take It Home, and literally just watched movies all day, hung out, made good food inside, and then we took the dog out, walked around in the snow, played in it, and had a really good time.
that's a
So
cozy day.
it was very cozy. Um, the transportation stuff though, not really too impacted here either. I'm kind of surprised. Like it snowed about 2 feet, and I think we probably lost already like half a foot just from like melting and how warm out it is. So it was
Yeah.
real. I actually enjoy that. Nice to see it all comes down and
Yeah.
it's already all like kind of dissipating. Just in time for my trip to Florida to go gamble some more for my birthday.
Oh,
So,
let's
Yeah.
go.
yeah.
Let's
So off to the Hard
go.
Rock later this week. 80-degree
Yes.
weather. I cannot wait. It's going to be a blast. Of
When
course,
do you
I'll
head
take
out for that?
pictures. Thursday morning. Thursday morning.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
So, dude,
You
the
better win some
countdown.
money. You better win some money,
Hell
Connor.
yeah, dude.
Mallory, your luck needs to rub off on me.
Okay.
So I will be messaging you guys while I'm there.
Show some videos.
And
Yeah, man. You're gonna
You'll trust me. You'll hear from me if I win big. You'll definitely hear from me if I don't win and I lose.
We're
luck,
not, like
too.
we're literally not going to hear from Connor for days. We're going to be like, oh my god, he's down like
We're gonna have to
thousands of
bail him
dollars
out.
right now.
You'll
Yeah.
hear from me if I'm down. I think if you don't hear from me, it's more so like, okay, Connor just won the big one, and
Okay.
he's gone. I think if I won that much, I'd be like, bye, see you later. But
Okay, wait. So for a trip like this, how much money are you going to like set aside to gamble?
oh
you say?
man, do you want the honest answer? Do you want?
Well, I
do
want
you-
the honest answer. And then, like, if you do have a range in mind, would you be the type to then pull out more money while you're on your trip?
Oh, 100%.
If you go, okay. So I
100%.
don't know. I don't know how disciplined you are. I don't know.
100%.
You know?
No, but this is a good thing while having, again, Zoe being there is more of like okay, you're done.
She's
you're,
going with
you're
you?
good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, yeah.
So this is mine and Zoe's like trip for my birthday.
Okay, gotcha.
Celebration.
Yeah.
But
she knows who she married. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And she
of
likes it.
course.
Well, she knows who she married and she likes it too, because if I'm taking out X amount of dollars, I'm usually giving her, okay, I'll be honest. I'm taking out $2,500 to gamble with. So it's a nice chunk of change. And I'm probably going to end up giving Zoe like an extra 500 and be like, here you go, honey. Like you gamble with this. I'm going to gamble with my 2,500 and hers will last her the entire trip. She'll come back with like 600 and be like, here, I'll be like, okay, I'll either come back with nothing or I'll come back with a lot. Like I'm one way or the other. There is no middle ground. If I have 2,500 the last day before I leave, I will put 2,500
down
on a
That's
spin.
fair.
Like that's
fair.
how I am. Because I'm like, I'm either losing it all or I'm coming back with like 10 G's, like at least. Like it's just how I operate. So that's what I'm bringing down. It should be a good time. Zoe will pace me. I know she will, which is good. But yeah, I'm doing like $50 spins, man. Like, yeah, I'm just going for
See,
it.
that's the thing about the minimum in the Philippines. It's a lot lower than the minimums that we have to deal with here in the US. You know what I mean? Because like the USD to pesos ratio, it's like 58 pesos for $1. So like the exchange rate's really good, and then their minimums are low. So it's easy for me to not have to put like $50 down on one single bet, you know, which was kind of nice.
Well, like, Zoe finds those. Like I said, I'll give Zoe maybe not even. I give her like 250, and she'll just go find like the 10-cent slots, and she's just like happy as hell to just sit on there. She likes it for the actual like game-ified of it. Like you know, it's something to pay attention to. I'm more about like this game's stupid because I didn't win money, but I like that game because it gave me $5,000. Like I have no rhyme or reason. But that was the weekend. That's the plans. Oh, and a ton of stuff with Claude Code and Cursor this past couple days. So I didn't do Claudebot yet. I know we want to talk about it, but I've been so deep into Cursor and Claude Code as of the past couple days. It's again just incredible what this stuff can do and how sophisticated it's actually getting.
Very cool. That sounds like a great weekend.
It was awesome and a good one coming up. So Charlie, regale us on your adventures, whatever it is you did this past weekend.
Yeah, I touched up Campaign Pilots. That thing is so badass.
Let's get it out the door.
Yeah. It's basically there to just bird feed. Picture an Uber driver not only like delivering your food, but walking into your place and cutting off the crust and like feeding it to you with like a golden fork.
Oh,
Like yeah, like
I
that
like
thing.
that.
That thing is ripping now. So I worked on that. Congratulations to the U.S. men's team for winning gold, beating Canada. That was probably top 5 hockey. I played hockey for 30 years. A cup of coffee here and there at the pro level. And that was one of the best games I have ever seen. That was an incredible hockey game. Canada, no doubt, should have won that game. No question they should have won that game, but it was the U.S. goalie that stood on his freaking head.
Dude, he was
For
insane.
55 minutes. There's a save that he made where he reached back with his stick. It's basically, please hit me, please hit me. Oh shit, I got that. Okay. And the play like went up the ice the other way. That's like a career save. Like if that's not already framed in his, like pro players have like a room just for, it's like their sweaters are framed, their first contract is framed and all that. If that's not framed on there already with like the American flag, something's wrong, because that dude, he got the MVP of the game, but he was the reason why they won that gold. So that was pretty cool to see. I actually watched it at home. Conor hit me up on Slack. He's like, "Yo, where are you watching the game?" I was like, "Dude, this is too stressful. I can't go to a buddy's place and watch it. I can't go to a bar. I certainly can't go to a bar and watch it. I'm just watching it at home, and it's like sometimes like the TV is like here, and I'm like screaming at the TV. Like,
dude, my husband Nick woke up at 4:30 to go to the bar at 5 to watch the hockey game.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
he was literally out at the bar super
That's my
early in the
dude.
morning to watch the game with some friends. So
What an incredible hockey game. I mean, and congrats to the women's team as well, because they beat
yes.
Canada.
Yes.
They killed it too.
That
Yes,
defenseman,
they did.
she was a defenseman, rushed the puck and over. By the way, I hate the 3-on-3 overtime. I can't stand it. But it is what it is. Nobody cares about my opinion. She rushed the puck. She's a defenseman, and she walked the Canadian defenseman and then put a nice move on the goalie to win gold. Like, what a feeling that's got to be to score an overtime gold medal clinching goal in the Olympics. Like that's mind blowing.
That's the pinnacle of your athletic career, I would think,
like
right? Like unless you're the Stanley Cup MVP, like, but even then it's like that's the country. Like you're in the world.
Because it's
like,
global. Exactly.
Yeah, it's best on best in the world. So I thought who took bronze? Sorry, bronze winner, I forgot. But Sweden? I tweeted out. No, that's who I called. I predicted it would be U.S. Canada. U.S. would win, and then I think the bronze would go to. I said Sweden, but it did not. Was it the Czechs? I can't remember. Anyway, sorry guys. Yeah, incredible hockey game. That goalie was just lights out. And for that kid to take the penalty, and then he got his stick to the mouth and got his teeth cracked. And then he'd come back of course he doesn't miss a shift, and then he scores the overtime goal. Like that's a fucking hockey player right there. Like that's the kid, as they say in hockey, give your balls a tug, and he just hops over the bench and just fucking scores. Like that's sick. That's badass. So that was Sunday. Saturday, went to a couple dinners. Yeah, it's kind of quiet weekend. Other than that, still just trying to be as active as I can.
Weekends are great.
Yeah, Sunday. I'm beginning to love Sunday evenings. I'm like super excited for like the pod and like the week and everything. So gearing up.
Oh, I get Sunday scaries like a mofo. Dude.
Oh really? I love Sundays. I get up super well, with the exception of the hockey game. I get up early and just hop on the bike and just crank as hard as I can. Like 20, 30 minutes, hop in the steam room, because the gym is empty at 7 a.m. on a Sunday. There's like nobody there. So, but yeah, just building out the app and putting together like some new directions for the podcast, and we'll talk about it later.
Cool.
But,
cool. I'm excited. I know we have like some time set aside next Monday to talk through ideas in our monthly meeting and what have you.
Is that
I'm
next
excited.
Monday? Oh,
yeah.
Y'all are gonna see me in rare form. Just getting
Let's
back
go.
from the trip.
Yes. Yeah, you're gonna have like
It's great. You're
spray
gonna have
paint.
so many ideas.
Well,
You think?
we've
You're
got
either gonna be brain dead or you're gonna have so many
I
ideas.
have
Either
a
way.
feeling the former, but we'll see. We'll see. I hope we'll
It's
be
all
all
right,
can't
right.
Conor.
wait.
We'll accept you in any state. We'll accept
No,
you.
actually, I purposefully did Thursday and Friday because I knew Saturday and Sunday. It's like more of a. That's when I'm doing the Mets
Yeah,
games, and
yeah,
it's a little
yeah.
more like, all right,
Okay,
I'm going to
okay.
ease
Yeah.
back into the week. So
Yeah. That
if you
makes
call me Saturday, it might be a little messy.
sense.
As we roll in, let's we can talk about building with Claude. Um, I've used Claude Code a little bit. I hate using the terminal. It's just kind of a pain in the ass. But Connor, you've mentioned you've been building with Claude. Uh, what have you been
And
building with it?
cursor.
Yeah, so I was on Cursor. Like, so I've been I talked to you guys about this when we were in Breck, right? About building out this kind of like this content wheel for Steven. We've had him on the pod before, right? For Synth. And he's really looking to try and push out more content
What do you
in
mean by content
volume.
wheel?
Like content wheel. So like, okay, like your content wheel,
for
it's your blogs, it's your LinkedIn, it's your Twitter, like, you
okay.
know, that's just how I phrase it, right? Whatever, content output for channels, you know, whatever. I just like calling it content wheel. Um, but I've been ideating on that with him, right? And again, there's agents out there that already do all this, right? You can go up on a platform, probably sign up, it'll do it all for you, but you're paying a premium price for it. When with someone even to my skill, right, which is more beginner, it's like I can build that out, right? It's more about the context I provide the prompt. So I started building it out in Make a few weeks ago, found Make to be really clunky. Steven even had a fair call. He's like, you know, Make's a little 2024-ish, don't you
Yeah.
think? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like it is. So let me go back to the drawing board, see what would work best. Went into Claude and just started ideating with it back and forth. And it suggested Cursor. It's like, so go into Cursor. I'll help you with the console prompts, like everything you're going to need, and the terminal prompts, excuse me, to like
Yeah.
add in there. Built it all out. And dude, it took me 2 hours, not even, to build a full-fledged like content machine for blogs for Synth by using Cursor with Claude, as opposed to trying to force it in Make, which took me probably 3 or 4 days to try and make it work. So
That's pretty
the
cool.
sophistication of something like Cursor in tandem with the Claude, and again, you know, these are things you think I would know, but it's kind of through trial and error, right? It's so much more advanced than trying to force it through some of the more friendly vibe coding stuff
I
like a
agree.
Make or even an N8N, which I think is more advanced, but haven't used it. But again, it's like in 2 hours, I had this full thing that's already functional. Doesn't look pretty, it's crude, but it works, right? And
Yeah.
the topic output, I asked, like, give me 4 topics per month. Steven filled out this entire brand sheet with all of the information on competitors, keywords, personas, you know, do's and don'ts, what you say, what you don't say, everything you could want from a really great client who's willing to hand over all of the information and basically the keys in order to unlock things. And it takes this Google sheet, it scans it, it puts it in a GitHub repository. And then I also am linking it up to Ahrefs to do keyword research and competitor research so that the blogs aren't driving blind. It's like, hey, what keywords have the highest search volume, lowest keyword density and difficulty that I can start ranking for? And it will take those, input it into the blog title. It'll tell you a meta description, the key phrase to go after, like everything. And writes
I
out
want to
some
try
pretty...
this out. This is cool.
Yeah,
Wait, I
can...
like I want to try out what you built.
Yeah,
it's like that's
neat.
interesting.
So again, there's some pieces I have to work, but I showed it to Steven this morning. We talked for an hour and he's like, this is awesome, man. If we can, you got to dial it in, right? You got to just pull a few levers, but for
and
2 hours worth
you
of
should.
work,
Like there still needs to be that like
so
little
much
touch,
more.
right? Just
so
a
much
bit.
more. Yeah.
So that agent just does the flywheel for you. Content wheel.
So the way that I'm looking at it is it really all starts with blogs, but this is what I have to think about. And really, as we're discussing, I'm very open to ideas on how to do this. Like for me, it starts with the blogs because they're the longest form piece you're going to have, right? And then what you can do is you wouldn't train the one agent who writes your blogs to also write your LinkedIn post or your Twitter post, X post, or Facebook or anything else, because you want to create separate agents that are very focused in each of the specific channels and niches. So starts with your blogs. Once the blog is done and approved, tell your X agent to say, now I want you to read the blog, scan through it, and I want you to create me an X post based on that, right? Like, so I want to train each agent to really cater to the platform that it would disseminate to. But the problem being that I still need to think through is like, not every blog deserves an X post. Not every blog deserves a LinkedIn post, right? So it's like, how do I configure something in a way where, again, everything can kind of run in its own silo. I would like some interconnection here or there, but really, again, like an X post on a blog, no one's going to care about. Like, what do I need to talk about on X that's going to move the needle for synth? What do I need to say on LinkedIn?
Like,
is it more about
relevant
HIPAA
topics?
Compliance, or
trending topics,
HIPAA,
like,
or PEPIDA, or SOC 2? Like, is that what people want to see on LinkedIn? And is
Sure.
that how I need to train that agent there? Whereas blogs aren't more, they're about compliance.
Are more just like
blogs
about
are more about
SEO, or
correct.
you know, for those that land on the website, they can get more in-depth
Exactly.
information about the product and the team behind the product, and
Exactly.
you know, their approach to building and like their approach to all of this other stuff, right? So,
yeah.
But you're not wrong. Like, not everything from the blog then deserves to have said social post, right? Oh, this is so interesting.
So yeah, it's really just like, and again, it's so sophisticated now that I can ask Claude to be like, hey, how would you go about this? And it'll give me 3 different avenues to go down. So you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Great. And the next thing I want to do is, while Cursor's awesome, what I am learning and what I've read is that for what I'm trying to build, Claude code is probably better, because you can continuously build on, you're almost like stacking, right? All of your stuff together. And apparently Cursor works very good for just like a single. If I were only doing blog posts, Cursor would be great. But the fact that I want to do blog posts, X posts, LinkedIn, Facebook, Reddit threads, maybe like try and get it to write Reddit thread like posts for me, you need to have something that's more robust, and Claude Code is that, as opposed to Cursor, which is, I think, again, a little bit more singularly focused based on what you want to build.
Good to know.
So could you build something for the pod, like not asking you to do it, obviously, but like in theory, could you build something for the pod where like the agent scrapes news from like the previous 24 hours?
Absolutely.
And then finds like the top 3 topics and then generates a graphic for the top. So the graphic would be the next piece. Like, I really want to dial in the content first, like just for anybody, and get that done, and then move on to like my ultimate goal with this is to just have it self-generate everything. If we're talking a blog, like, I want a blog, but I also I want you to create images that go with the blog. And if you're on Framer or you're on WordPress or you're on Webflow, like, post the blog up, schedule it once I hit approve, and we're good to go, right? I don't need to find images anymore. I don't need to find backlinks. I don't need to find, like, it's just going to do it all. Again, it just takes a long time to get there. So the image is a little far off. And also just because I don't trust AI to do images to a polished degree. Mm-hmm. So I'm still a little shaky on that. But yeah, you absolutely could. With the synth setup, I just have it scrape the internet for the latest stories that are going on in the psychology world over the last week. And it also helps layer that into the blogs, because I can't just rely on the brand content from Steven to write a bunch of blogs. You're going to run out of something at some point. So I need it to scrape in real time what's going on in the world of psychology. What are there new updates when it comes to compliance or HIPAA or AI? And how can I interweave that through the brand voice and tone and the do's and don'ts that are provided to me? So it's cool. I just think, again, it takes a little bit of refinement to get it fully done. Pretty cool stuff. So what's next? Like, so you've got agents for the content. He's pushing content on there. What else? Like, do you have anything else on the calendar to build for that?
No, because I want to get the blog stuff squared away first. Like, I don't want to look so far ahead that I lose sight of what I'm doing now. Right. Like, I want to get it right, or as close to right as I can, before I start adding a bunch of other pieces to it. Yeah. I'd say the next thing, though, really after content is squared away for me, it's also having it write emails and then create the emails. For like all the way from topical planning to creating the schedule of when it should go out, right? The days and times it should go out, which segment it goes to, writing the actual email, and then based on the approval of that, designing the actual email and having like a full JPEG to just throw into your preferred ESP. right?
Yeah,
That would
yeah.
really be my next move, because I think that also solves a problem for not just generation in terms of speeding it up and accelerating it, but for smaller businesses too. It would really help serve them.
Mm,
Those who don't have budget to spend $200, $250, $300 on a singular email, I have a system that'll build you 10 emails for $100 a month, right? Like, or
mm.
$200 a month. Just give me your brand voice, your, all the
Yeah.
contextual stuff I need, and it'll just kind of take it and run with it.
Just the time that would save on posting on multiple platforms, and scheduling out something to scrape socials, trending AI news. I'm thinking in terms of the podcast, but the time that would save is
I
just
mean, even for me
freaking
and just
awesome.
the agency and the amount of content that we would potentially plan for our clients and like, how do we streamline that as much as possible?
Yeah.
I think would be really even important for the work I'm doing too. So,
Yeah, I'm happy to.
yeah,
I think by next week or the week after, I'm happy to kind of walk through it too and just
I would
show
love that
Yeah,
actually.
the
let's do it.
I'd be
build,
down.
the output. Mallory, I think you'd have a blast with it, because where your strong suit's going to come in is the prompt, right? Like,
Yeah.
what do you want it to say? What is the output? What's wrong? What's right? Because that's what I'm not a copywriter by nature, and I'm not a very creative person by nature, a content person. So I look at it and I'm like, oh, it looks good. It's fine enough. It's passable. But I think someone with your knowledge and experience would be able to really nitpick
Yeah, let's do
the
it.
actual output. So
I would
it'd
love
be
that.
cool to get you guys' take on it.
Cool.
Let's
Let's do it.
That'll be next week after, here or there. We'll see.
Probably I'm going to be in Jamaica in 2 weeks, so probably next week.
Dang.
So our invite.
Yeah, where's
where?
You guys want to come?
Jamaica?
You guys want to come?
I'm
You're
just
more than
kidding.
welcome to come. Mallory's like, wait a minute, never mind. Hold on.
No, but that
I
does
got
sound
stuff
fun.
to do. I'm not gonna lie. In a way, I'm looking forward to going, but I'm also like Zoe's not coming with me. I'm going by myself. I'm going to take pictures of this newly
you're gonna have
renovated
fun.
villa. It'll be
right.
Yes. I always think I'm gonna have the worst time doing something like this, and then I'm gonna come back and be like, that was so good.
No,
What
you're
a
gonna
nice
love
it.
trip. So
You're gonna love it.
That's cool.
I actually really love I do love traveling with my husband. We've traveled so much together, but when I did my solo trip to Japan last year, I was like, you know what? This isn't half bad. And I'm talking to him all
Traveling
day
solo is-
anyway.
yeah.
So it's like,
Traveling
I don't
solo is
know.
fun. It's dope. It's
yeah.
It gets relaxing, but after a while, you're like, after maybe a week and a half, it's like
I agree. Like
ready to
you're,
come home.
yeah.
So
Cool.
So speaking of, again, I kind of talked to the Claude code and cursor thing. It sounds like none of us, or Mallory, have you made any headway with
No,
Claude
I haven't had
bot,
time.
whatever the heck it is?
I just
now?
haven't had
Lobster
time.
fuck
Me
thing.
too.
It's especially with the trip that I just came back from and preparing for that. I didn't have a chance to, because the weekend before I was like, okay, I need to do it, but I had to
Same.
do other things. But
Yeah.
it's still a plan of mine to do. I just haven't made it happen yet. I actually still have to buy my Mac Mini, so I got to do that this week.
So
and get,
my plan
and get the setup in place, and then kind of start. What about you?
No, I haven't done anything, but my plan with it, again, like I'm really into the Claude code cursor stuff right now, and I want to kind of get that. But a part of me is also thinking, if I can just get into Claude bot and figure it out, it can do all of this for
It can
me.
already do that for you.
Correct. So like, why wouldn't I just start on that instead and be like, hey, this is what I want to build? Like,
Yeah,
go work
but
on it
look,
while I'm
I will
sleeping.
say though, yes, but I will say I think it is good, to your point, to actually have some sort of basic understanding of how cursor works, which is where I've been in the last few weeks for a client, and I'm still learning, because it is like working with the terminal and working with GitHub and pulling request, like all that
Yeah.
stuff is very new for me. And every time I'm like, I'm gonna fuck something up. I'm gonna press something that's gonna and I have that fear with cursor versus like a vibe coding tool where it's just like the UI and everything is just so much simpler and easier and less intimidating.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's
sure.
good though, Connor, to have that understanding so
True.
that when you are ready to have Cloudbot go at 110%, at least you have some sort of basic understanding of the program. I think that's a good thing.
Valid.
So
Valid.
yeah.
We'll have to have a segment on here, and we will call it the Lobster Cloudbot.
I would like to, hopefully.
thing.
I think we need a few
Yeah.
weeks to get there.
Yeah.
And this is a reminder, I need to go order my setup, but
I have a laptop
be great.
like in my other room, like a perfectly like a
Just use the
2020.
laptop.
Just use
Yeah,
the
just
use
laptop
it.
then.
I
I
just
don't
haven't
have
fucking
one.
fired it. I just haven't
You
fired
just
it
need
up.
to
So
isolate it, and it's like
yeah,
as long as it's isolated, then you should
Yep.
be
yeah.
okay. Um,
There was a
but
good
yeah,
video from Jason Calacanis, his show Twist This Week in Startups. He had a couple special guests on there on how to maximize your usage and get the most value and be safe as well
yeah.
using Cloudbot Lobster fuck thing.
So
That was put out last Friday, I believe, Thursday or Friday. So we posted that. But
before we have
before I
Josh on
guessed,
here,
yeah,
yeah, you want to just give us a little bit of a rundown here, Charlie, on some background, how you
Yeah.
connected with him and stuff.
yeah. So looking at his LinkedIn profile now, he says own your category. So he's big on positioning.
Yep.
And let's see, I'm looking at a post here. I've been Claude pilled. Here's my perfect workflow, and then he has really great looking creative and like PDFs and videos and everything. And he's been in the space for over 13 years in
Yeah,
that.
no, I think it's interesting. I'm really curious to hear about how the positioning work has changed in the AI landscape.
Yeah,
I remember working at Discord and working with someone in particular that just focused on positioning. Then, like, it seems like Josh is kind of similar in a way where that is his bread and butter, that's his focus. And so, like, how has his approach to positioning changed in like a super saturated and sort of crazy competitive space? Like,
yeah, yeah.
I'd love to learn more about that. But his website's kind of cool.
Seems like a cool dude too. I reached out to him and I think his he's like, yeah, like, here's who we are, here's what we do. Do you want to come on? And he said something like, F yeah, I want to come on. I was like, hell
Okay.
yeah, I'm coming
Hell
on.
yeah. Yes.
I started laughing. I was
Yes.
like,
Okay,
all
we
right,
like
That's the
that
energy we
energy.
need,
I was
Josh.
like,
That's
all
the
right,
energy we freaking need.
all right, that's cool. So yeah, Josh Lowman. Let's cut to the interview. All right, we're here with Josh Lowman. He's the founder of Goldfront, a category design studio in San Francisco. He's worked with over 150 companies, including Uber, Qualtrics, Robinhood, and Gainsight. Josh, thank you for being on the show.
It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
And during this interview, what can our audience learn from you?
Well, I think we're going to talk about how to position an AI company, whether that is, hey, we're a SaaS company, we just added AI features and AI stuff to our product, or whether that's an AI native company. How do we make this thing actually make sense and seem different from our competitors?
Okay.
But there's all kinds of things we could talk about. We might want to talk about Claude Code some,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on
Yeah.
with AI, and will it destroy humanity? And there's all kinds of
Yes.
things.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm curious, Josh, just for those that are listening that have no idea what positioning even is, like, could you kind of give a broad definition and our listeners an understanding of the world of positioning?
Yeah, I think there's these two guys, Al Rees and Jack Trout, who started using the term in the 70s and then wrote a couple books about positioning. They wrote a book called Positioning: The Battle for Your Mind. And it was basically that a company or product can own a single idea. And if you own a single idea and that idea is differentiated and played out through your product and what your product actually does compared to your competitors, that is the best business position that you could be in. That is, if you can own an idea like Volvo owns safety, right? If you can own an idea and that pervades everything that you do in your business, then that's the most defensible sort of business position to be in. And so since then, pretty much every company is, undergoes some kind of process of, we have to position ourselves. And as tech sort of took off in this century, this idea of category became very popular because one of the very first things that Al Rees and Jack Trout said in their book was that your best position is to be number one in a category. And if you can't be number one, you should create a category that you can be number one in. And as tech took off, this idea of category became more and more popular because with sort of tech innovation, new categories are created more often. in the old days, in the 70s, it would be like, oh, well, this is soap, and this is a bicycle, and this is glasses, and this is, and the categories didn't change as much, right? But now that we have CRMs and all these different LLMs and all these different kinds of tech innovations, the new category and the definition of that category becomes a much bigger part of the positioning conversation. So that's why we focus on companies that are creating new categories. And when we do this sort of idea of positioning, we do it through the lens of category creation.
Got it.
Got it. And so outside of the world of categories, I'm curious, since you've been in this world for a long time, how do you think your work around positioning has changed in the early days of tech versus where we're at today in the world of AI?
Well, I mean, maybe like 20, 15 years ago, that long ago, I would say I attempted to do positioning through I used to think of it as brand, right? And we would work with marketers but I think in the world that I came from originally, before I was working more in tech, brand meant everything. So if you came up with a positioning idea for a brand, that meant like, okay, this pervades the entire company. But when I started working with tech companies and we would do, hey, we're going to do your brand positioning, that would work for the marketing team. But if you give it to the product team, they're like, we're not
Mm,
changing our product roadmap based on the CMO's idea of what the brand positioning is. That's not changing our product roadmap. In a tech company, the product, the engineers, and the product team are way more the center of things. And so I just realized that just regular positioning wasn't going to work as well. And that's one of the reasons why we use this idea of category, because when we do a positioning exercise with a leadership team and we talk to them about category and what is the definition of the category that we're creating, the product team is way more likely to be involved and think of that as something that they're doing. It's not just a marketing pursuit. That's the biggest change that I see, is that you have to be just a little bit more clever about how you do a positioning exercise if you want it to
mm.
apply to the entire company.
Josh, can you tell us more about this positioning exercise?
Well, yeah, actually, I don't really even use the term positioning that much because
Mm.
in the tech world, like if you look at my content on LinkedIn or whatever, I won't use the term positioning that much because in the tech world, positioning has come to mean the way it's most often practiced is we have a business strategy, we have a product. Now go do our product positioning, our product marketing
Mm.
people are going to take a given business strategy and a given product and then figure out how to express that on our website and other places. And that's just not the kind of work that we do. We're more like, okay, let's figure out the business strategy, the product strategy, and the kind
Mm.
of the messaging all at the same time. And so we call that category design. But the question is, what is that? I think the question is, well, what does that process look like?
Yeah, yeah.
And the base version of the process, there's four moments. There's one moment where you have a workshop with a leadership team, and we have a canvas called the category design canvas. And we put that up and we go through, there's a bunch of boxes, and we go through things like who are your competitors and even competing solutions, like doing nothing might be a competing solution.
Mm.
What are the use cases and triggers that would cause somebody to give you a call or think they need your product? What are the product features? And then on the sort of right hand side of the category design canvas, we have what I call the conviction grid. And there's four ideas that you need to solve for in order to kind of nail your category definition, your positioning, and to truly have like conviction around those ideas. And those ideas are we solve for who's the most important customer to the future of your business, who must we win in order to succeed? What is their great ambition relative to the product that you that you offer, right? What is the enemy that's standing in the way of them getting to their great ambition? Because if they can just get to their great ambition without your product, then they don't need you. So
Mhm.
what's the enemy that's standing in the way? And then what's the idea? What's the central idea of the product? We call it the category idea. What's the central idea of the product that is the only thing that gets your most important customer past the enemy into their great ambition? And we work through these ideas, especially those four boxes, with our clients, and we'll notice the chief product officer thinks that the enemy is X, but the CEO thinks the enemy is Y. And we have a very spirited conversation around all of these ideas. And by the end of that workshop, we're relatively aligned on some of these ideas. So that's part one. Part two is we write a category POV. So that's a strategic narrative. It's a couple pages. It sounds kind of like something Steve Jobs might say when he announced products, right? When he announced the iPad or whatever. So a strategic narrative is sort of like that. It would be similar to agreeing on certain ideas of positioning, but it's written like a story that you can get really excited about and feel moved
Mhm.
by, ideally. So that's part two. Part three is we create something called a North Star map, which is again a single page, but it's all the ideas that we've aligned on in a sort of a messaging house. And then part four is a what we call North Star messaging, which is just an extended messaging document. So that now we're moving into, hey, after this, we're going to go update our website and our copy in a lot of
Yeah.
different places. And so then the messaging document covers off on that requirement. So that's the
Cool.
base. That's the base of the strategy piece. And what you should come out of that with is alignment.
Yeah.
So the creative team should be really, or it's the leadership team should be really aligned on what those ideas are, especially the conviction grid. And then you should have a product team that understands, like, okay, this is the way that we can most add value in the future. And you should have a marketing team that understands this is how we can tell, this is how we should be telling the story. And what most companies do is they, you just have to communicate something or you have to create features and you kind of figure out a lot of the strategy piece as things just show up on your radar. We have to do an event. We have to do a this. We have to do a
Mhm.
that. Okay, well, what are we for? And what is the story here? And and you're kind of making it up as you go along. But if you really settle the strategy and the story and the messaging first, then like, they say, like Red Bull says, Red Bull gives you wings. It's like it gives you wings. You can really fly through the rest of what you need to do as a business if you kind of settle some of these foundational things first.
Cool. Josh, you bring up category quite a bit, right? And I just think for even for me and the listeners, right? Like, how do you come to selecting a category, right? Like, do you work your way back into it? Is it again amongst this discussion in the three pieces you just explained?
Yeah. Well, it starts by just taking a look at, like, what is the thing that you're offering in the world. I have some clients who are making something that nobody has ever seen before. It is
Hmm.
completely different. So in that case, you are creating a new category. You just have to figure out what the words are and what the story is of that thing, right? And maybe some ideas about where do you want to take it in the future. I have other clients who are making something that is an existing category. Most of my clients are not doing that, though. Just in the tech world, almost every tech company wants to somehow disrupt an industry or disrupt like a certain way of doing things. And that word disrupt means they want to do something like completely different.
Yep.
And that is a categorical difference that they're trying to build.
Gotcha.
But I would say, like, if you look at what you're creating, what you're building, and it is in an existing category, then you don't want to force it. You want to figure out how you can ideally become the leader of that category. And so you're trying to
Gotcha.
find a positioning that works within that category or reframe the meaning of the category. An example
Mm.
of that would be Tesla, what Tesla did with electric cars, or what iPhone did
Mhm.
with smartphones. They took an existing category and they transformed it so that they could become number one. So those are
Cool.
the sort of two paths that you could take. There's a couple others that you could take too. You could niche down. So if you're in an existing category, but you want to differentiate, you could niche down, like LinkedIn is a social network for business people, right? Uh,
Hmm.
and then there's one more that um, I've identified, which is solo. Solo
Mm.
would be we're kind of in an existing category, but everything we do is just completely different. And so people think of us as categorically different. So an example
Gotcha.
would be Notion would be an example of that. Yeah, I think of Notion as a project management software, or maybe it's, no code software. I don't know exactly what Notion is. It's really just a notion. That's what Notion is. It's Notion, right? It's
It's its own
complete.
thing.
It's its own thing in the world. Yeah, and that's a way of creating a category too.
Cool. So that's super insightful. Do you see, based on your experience, an easier time creating that new category, like being that disruptor, or an easier time, getting into a category that exists, but then becoming the predominant player in that category?
I mean, I think that for most people, they have an idea of what they want to build, and
Mm,
then you sort of decide what category path you want to take from the thing that you want to build.
yeah.
But you might look at, if you're at the very early stages, thinking about what are you building, you might go, well, do I really want to put my time into that? Does that sound like I could get that to a place where I'm categorically different? Or does it sound like I'll be lumped in with a bunch of other people and it'll be hard for me to differentiate?
Mm.
But I
Hmm.
think in my experience, most people have the idea of the thing that they're building, and it's more, hey, what path are we going to take to try to be categorically different, knowing that this is the thing that we're building?
Yeah. It's almost like looking at your unique selling prop, like your USP, right? Like, what am I going to do to differentiate?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yep.
and it's interesting because I think people really misunderstand category in terms of like what people say about it publicly. And that's one of the big things is people talk about, hey, should we create a category or should we stay in an existing category? And it's like, that is not the main decision that you're typically going to be making. The decision happens before that when you figure out what are you building. And
Yeah.
then you assess, hey, is the thing I'm building like really, really different? Or does it fit in an existing category? If it fits in an existing category, well, could we niche down? Could we solo? Could we
Mm.
transform the category like Tesla or iPhone to become number one? Those are more the decisions that you would make.
And that goes through quite a bit of validation too, I'm sure, obviously, when you're thinking through that.
Hopefully, yeah. And
Not for you so
yeah,
much, more for the people
yeah.
approaching you to help
I
with the
mean,
positioning, picking the
yeah,
category. Like, you need to validate it before you even,
yeah,
again, kind of pick what you're going to solve.
yeah, absolutely.
So, Josh, what are some other than the positioning exercise not being aligned? What are some of the biggest mistakes you see in AI companies?
Okay, well, let's say there's two kinds. There's like SaaS companies or just existing tech companies that heard AI. Oh, this is going to change everything. We need to get AI. I think we all know what their problem is. They're going to say we are AI powered, we are AI first, we are AI native, and their customers are going to perceive that as, oh, you just tacked on AI, and like I think it's BS. I think it's BS. That's the problem that they face. And some of those companies are going to be adding AI and it's like really, really valuable. So they have to figure out a way to convince their audience, no, this isn't just tacked on AI. This isn't just some BS. Like this is really substantive. So I think that's the challenge for those companies. And then if we look at more AI native companies, there's something similar. I think all AI native companies struggle with, hey, we want to talk about AI, but we don't want to just have AI be the headline because it's becoming more and more like, hey, we are software, right? Like everything that
Mm.
is
Yeah.
software, right, is
It's
AI,
like
right?
saying something
It's like,
without you're like without saying anything,
well, it's par for the
Right.
basically.
course almost these days, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's the
Yeah.
yeah.
problem.
Yeah. So I think they face the same thing, but they're AI native companies. They're like, well, but I mean, we're AI through and through. We're born AI. You know,
Yeah.
how do we differentiate and make this not just sound like we're waving our arms around? And then there's maybe one more type of company, which I would say the foundational companies like OpenAI and Anthropic and companies like that, and that's a very big kind of positioning battle that they're fighting right now.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Like, I want to hear how you think about their positioning. I mean, there was the recent Super Bowl ad where
Mhm.
Anthropic kind of came for OpenAI's throat in a way, but how do you think about positioning with those two companies in mind?
Yeah. So, one thing I want to say about all of this is that when I think about positioning, I'm thinking about both product and marketing, not
Right.
not just how
Yeah.
you tell the story. And obviously, it starts with ChatGPT is considered to be the leader because it created the category of AI chatbot, or it created the category in the popular mind, right? And that shows you the value of category creation and defining the category before anybody else. People just consider them to be number one. They are the definition of an AI chatbot. So that's kind of the foundation. But what's interesting is that Claude has had so many, Anthropic and Claude they've had so many innovations that they're kind of number one in terms of the influencers in the tech world. I think engineers are more drawn to using Claude code and
Mm-hmm.
what Claude is doing. And then they've also been giving off signals that they're more trustworthy, that they care more about the
Mhm.
future of the world,
Yeah.
right? They're not as cutthroat. So they have a kind of thoughtful, reliable, safe that part of their positioning. And then
Isn't
they
that why it
also
was
have this
started?
like, what'd you say?
Isn't pardon me to cut you off.
I think
Isn't that
so.
why it was
Yeah.
started? Dario and his
Yeah.
sister, and they're like AI is going down this way. We want to go that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
safer.
And then I think the other thing that's bubbled up for them is, they're the AI kind of for builders, for the
Mm.
more techie people.
Hmm.
If you're really wanting to get in there and build something, and I think that is driven very much by Claude Code came out a year ago, and now as a engineer or just me who's not an engineer, you can get in and do amazing things using Claude Code. So it's interesting because in the Super Bowl, so I think I think Sam Altman and OpenAI really wants to be like the Apple of
Mm-hmm.
AI, right? They really, really want to be like Apple. They've got this relationship with Johnny Ive, uh, and yet they do not want to be undercut by this like engineering focus that Claude has, right? So OpenAI is in a difficult position because they want that Apple like, you know, we're for everybody, but we're high end,
Yeah.
we're consumer. They're going
Mhm.
to start running ads, which feels more like a sort of consumer play.
Yeah, they already
Uh,
kind of have. Like here, you're here in SF, right? You've seen like their billboards where it's very human centric. Like it's two people trying to figure
yes,
out how to like fix their car with their
exactly.
logo, right? So I'm
Right.
guessing you're seeing that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. At the
Yeah.
airport or,
Yep. Trying to humanize their brand as much as
yeah.
possible, I think, to get to that consumer.
Yeah, and I think those ads are so good. I think they're
Yeah.
so good, the especially the spots. But they're in a tricky place because they want to have it all. They want to be known as the tool for builders. They also want to have that Apple, like, we're for everyone. We're a consumer brand. And Anthropic is a little bit more focused in terms of their positioning, and they're getting a lot of traction in the category because they're more focused, and OpenAI is kind of trying to be everything to everyone.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's very interesting. And then I think Anthropic attacked OpenAI on this idea that probably Anthropic's not going to do, which is selling ads
Hmm.
in their
Yep.
experience. Yeah. So that's a classic positioning trick where you attack somebody for something that they cannot. It would be very hard for them to roll back. Like if OpenAI wants to be this huge consumer company, in order to fund that and make it all work, they're going to need to sell ads. And Anthropic doesn't need to do that. I mean, that's what I imagine.
Hmm.
So you attack your opponent on and their weaknesses, that if they can't go back on that, because if OpenAI said we're not going to do ads, I think it would fundamentally affect their positioning to try to go broad, right?
Compromise it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to see all this play out.
What'd you think of that, Josh? Too, kind of that OpenAI versus Anthropic type stuff. Again, Anthropic specifically, kind of
You
going
mean
against them because of the ad stuff.
the ads? I thought
Yeah,
I thought that Claude ads were great.
yeah,
So good. Mother is their ad agency, like
Mm.
maybe the best ad agency in the world. So yeah, it's really smart. And then did you notice that OpenAI, so Claude had come out with so OpenAI and Claude came out with their brand campaigns, what,
hmm
in August or whatever it was, I can't remember. And OpenAI was this very broad, hey, it helps me do human things. It was like an Apple campaign. Whereas what Mother and Anthropic did was build something for problem solvers. We're solving problems. It's
yeah,
building, right, right. And what happened is OpenAI got what I think is OpenAI got worried, like, oh, we're going to lose the building community. We're going to lose the engineering like focus that we're going to lose that in the minds of our customers. We're not going to be known as much for that piece of it. So their Super Bowl ad is about you can build anything.
right.
They're worried about Anthropic owning that positioning
Yeah.
territory.
Just in direct response to that
Yes.
is why they ran
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think too, from kind of a positioning standpoint, like is that kind of like a no? You think? You think it was totally fine for OpenAI to kind of go against it? Like again, be more reactive to what they're seeing Anthropic do.
Man, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think you would want to be more um, disciplined than OpenAI
Yeah.
probably has been. But I mean, they are uh, they they're holding on to the tail of a dragon, and like they're just trying to make it all
Yeah.
work. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they keep this up, I really think, and don't sort of either choose a lane and double down to some extent, I think that will help Anthropic pull ahead for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Their revenue is growing. I saw a stat late last week that Anthropic's revenue is supposed to surpass OpenAI's by like I think it was late June. Maybe it
Yeah.
might
Mm,
have been July.
Well,
Uh,
but the thing is now, with OpenAI bringing in the guy who invented OpenClaw,
mhm.
hmm
that
Yeah,
is
Yep.
a
hmm
huge
he
event.
he got the
Yeah.
Yeah.
last laugh. I think Sam Altman's a animal. I mean, he
Yeah,
brought that guy in. Yeah, that's
yeah, because that's the only thing that I mean, OpenAI needs something to kind of go up against Claude Code, and while they have Codex, that hasn't taken off in the way that Claude Code has.
No, not at all.
right,
Not
Not at
nearly.
all.
right, right.
Yeah.
It's also easier to use. I think Anthropic, their API.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, um, back to these preformed questions here. You teach three specific ways that positioning goes wrong. Can you touch on that and maybe an example of each?
Yes. Okay. Um, First of all, the biggest problem is the way you're differentiating is not big enough. you're differentiating in an incremental way instead of in a categorical way. The classic version of this is, hey, we are a CRM. Well, what's different about us? Well, we're the easier to use CRM. We are the faster CRM. We're the
Mhm.
CRM made for this type of person. And then you put that on your homepage. Oh, we're ADIO, for example. We're the easier to use CRM, or we're the all-in-one CRM, or whatever it is. And people perceive that sort of positioning as, oh, it's a CRM.
Mm.
People want to lump you into existing categories. So they don't perceive that as being differentiated enough for you to get that escape velocity from whatever the bucket is that they already have in their minds. Like, oh, it's a CRM. Okay,
So would
so
you say, Josh, like a CRM for veterinarians, right? Vet clinics. Like, is that just not enough of a differentiator or categorically
no, I
different?
think that's basically niching down.
Okay.
I
Okay.
would say
Okay.
like in a way, in the world of positioning and category creation, that would be the almost like the easiest way to differentiate. And you have to make sure, you know, I'm sure there are CRMs for vets, right?
Yeah,
They
there
already
are.
have that, right?
Yep.
So if you say, oh, we're going to niche down to that, somebody else has already done that. But I would say that's the easiest way, and it's totally legitimate. But because it's a little bit easier to niche down, you may find that other people have already had that
It's
idea.
already saturated a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then things like, saying things like, okay, well, we differentiate from our competitor because we're easier and we're faster is not enough.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I think you probably could if you went all in on fast, right? And then like
Mm,
every single thing you did was fast and you included in terms of your business model and your product and every single thing. And you could really sell that through as completely pervasive. I mean, that's kind of what Volvo has done with
mm,
being a safe version of a car, right?
yeah.
They've committed to that so much that it becomes more of a categorical difference.
Hmm.
But generally no, and that's how most positioning is practiced. Is hey, we're gonna ascribe we're gonna take a category, we're gonna ascribe a quality, we're gonna say that's differentiated, but our audience is actually gonna think like that's just kind of in the same bucket as everybody.
Yep.
So
Gotcha.
that's the number one problem is the differentiation isn't big enough for people to not compare you to a bunch of
Hmm.
other competitors. Number two is it's not unified, which is kind of what we were talking about with Volvo. But if you do positioning and it's just kind of what you're saying in your marketing, but it has no effect on how you develop your product, then you don't have a unified positioning. It's just for a department in your company, and customers can tell that. Like if you say we're amazing and we have all these qualities, and then your product doesn't pay that off, then
Hmm.
that's obviously not going
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah, the
But
over-promising is really interesting, I think, in the AI space. Like, I think there's a lot of hype on, look at us, look how much better we are than everybody else, sort
mhm,
of mentality.
yeah,
And to me, like, I think maybe that's a positioning play, perhaps, but it just creates more noise.
yeah, yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, and then number three is just being boring. So you
Mm.
could
Being
say
boring.
we are.
Really?
That hits the nail on the head there.
You could say, hey, we're a new category. We're categorically different. Our marketing and our product and our business model are aligned around this idea, but we just kind of show up in a boring way. We just say everything in a left brain, logical, rational way. We don't. We're not inventive. We're not inspiring. We're not emotional.
Mm.
So I think that's the third issue. And a lot of times the strategy itself is written in a very rational, boring way. And then you give it to a writer or a designer, us poor creatives, you give it to us poor creatives, and we can't make something emotional out of it because it was
No.
never emotional in the first place.
Mm.
It's just like too technical almost and too literal in a
Yeah.
Yeah.
way.
Do you
Yeah.
have a good example of that? Like, is there someone or a
Every
company?
company, every
That's
tech
fair.
company.
That's fair.
Um,
They all start to look and sound the same.
yeah. I mean, I think Notion is great at not doing this. you know, like I feel a little bit inspired by them.
They
Or
have a
by
cool brand, I
Yeah,
think.
they really do. Or
Yeah.
Airbnb's advertising is really great.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You
Especially
know,
during the Olympics.
they and obviously because OpenAI and Anthropic are spending a lot on their brand and advertising, they're
Mm.
doing stuff that isn't just boring. But generally, yeah, tech companies, especially earlier stage, talk in very much rational terms, which is normal.
Yeah.
But you want to see if you can break out of that.
I think that's why we're starting to see more of these AI companies hire storytellers, hire creatives because they realize like they need to be able to break through in that way. Like the product speak is only going to take them so far.
Yeah, I mean, you really do see it with LLMs where the horse race of stats and metrics is just it just goes back and forth, and people are starting to feel that there's not enough differentiation in terms of what the product does or
Yeah.
metrics, right?
Yeah,
So
and it's a
story
very
becomes
me kind of thing, right? Like, look at us, look how great we are, right? When it's like, how
Mhm.
do you pull in your customers that's in a way
What it
that's
means to
meaningful
them.
and what exactly,
Mhm.
exactly,
Yep.
What's
exactly.
what's the fastest you've seen, Josh? What's the fastest you've seen new positioning generate new users or like a pipeline?
You know what's interesting? I mean, this is just the first thing that comes to mind is that people often talk about positioning and category definition as being something that you need to put out in your marketing, and then how long am I going to see a change in my pipeline? But for me, I actually experienced something that people never talk about, which is when up until 2020, we were a creative studio. So when we started, I said we're a creative studio. I don't know exactly how I defined that. I wasn't as kind of immersed in category when I started the company.
Mm.
But it was sort of like we're like an agency, but we don't have all this structure hierarchy of account people, and you could just hire us to get thoughtful, good work done, right? And because we had done a number of strategy assignments around category definition and strategic narratives, we did. I wrote the strategic narrative for Uber as they were moving from ride sharing to urban logistics. So I wrote that. Me and Travis Kalanick worked on that together.
Really? Cool.
Very cool.
It was really interesting because we would get together for a meeting and be like, "This guy looks like he's been up all night working, right?"
Really?
Yeah, and he was very dedicated
I bet
to.
he's an animal. I bet he's an
Uh,
absolute animal.
well, he's one of a kind, that's for sure.
Is
That's
he?
for sure. Yeah. And so uh, because we had done some of that work and that was really paying off for our customers as well. Like I was seeing the effect that working through the lens of category was having on our clients. We repositioned around this idea of work category design studio. And I think we're the first company to really bring together this idea of like the strategy of category design and a design studio, like an elite design studio in one company, right? And so that's what we meant by a category design studio. But unlike many of our clients, probably the term category design studio is not going to become some cultural thing where in the agency
Hmm.
world there's hundreds of category design studios, right? It's more of like just a one-off, category name. But as soon as I figured out that positioning and I started using the term category design studio in our existing pipeline, we started converting better and we converted for
Mm.
higher
Wow.
price
Cool.
tags too.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the positioning didn't even have to be working in our public marketing. I could do it just with existing sales conversations, and it was increasing our revenue just from that.
Wow.
Mm.
That's awesome. Um, Another question for you here, Josh, too. How are you leveraging like AI right now for your own business, for others, right? You talked about Claude Code earlier, and I know you don't have a ton of time left. So I'm just really curious as to what are you
Yeah.
doing in Claude Code if it is that? And again, how are you leveraging AI in different areas?
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, there's two things I want to talk about. First, I want to just say a little bit more. substance around positioning for AI companies.
Sure.
And then we'll talk about Claude Code. But for positioning for AI companies, one thing is you're positioning against other AI companies. So you don't really want to position around like, hey, we're AI and the old way of doing things without AI sucks. That's our story. Because there's a bunch of other people that had your idea too. And the real question is, how do you differentiate from those people?
Hmm.
If you're AI for the medical world or AI for doctors, you're not going to say like doctors that don't use AI like are getting screwed. You have to differentiate against the other solutions out there that are AI for doctors, right? And so if you're going to do that, then you have to think about a problem or what we would say is an enemy that you could ascribe to your competitors. So you're looking at your AI and the way that you've implemented the solution, and you're comparing your implementation of it to your competitors, and you're trying to find a weak spot of your competitors that you don't have. And so there's a few territories that are common weak spots in the world of AI companies. So one would be generic. So you're using AI, but it feels it's not personalized. It's just sort of templated. You're getting responses back that feel generic. So
Hmm.
that's one problem that you could tell a story off of. There's another where it just feels slapped on, like they just threw AI onto this, but they didn't really understand the problem very well. It's very tactical. It's not very a strategic implementation of AI. So that's kind of slapped on AI. There's unsecure. A
Mm.
lot of these implementations have huge security holes. So that's another one. Another one would be, which is actually pretty close to generic, is zero context. So you've got AI, but the context, the way that the information that connects to the intelligence, the information is very not very usable, or there's not very much of it. So that's almost like zero context or not enough context. And then another one is all talk, no action. So, oh, this is AI, but it's like a chat bot. It's not actually doing anything for me.
Right.
And I say all this just to say that, like, the core of positioning or category definition is to find a good enemy and tell story. I mean, if you can find a good enemy, you kind of have your positioning figured out. So,
Mm.
Makes
Interesting.
all the sense in the world, actually, when you put it that way.
Hmm.
so that's my thought about how AI companies should position themselves. And then you wanted to talk about Cloud Code.
Yeah, just curious as to what you're working on. You
Yeah.
said you've been using it,
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
quite a bit.
What are like the AI
Um,
tools that you're into and that you've been sort of utilizing in your workflows and maybe even in your personal life too?
well, I'm like afraid to talk about this because I'm going to sound like I've joined a cult. Um, but I am totally Claude pilled. I'm here at home. I have my desktop. I'm doing Claude Code with using VS Code on my desktop. I've got my laptop. I'm using Claude Code on my laptop. I bought a Mac Studio. I've got OpenClaw working on
Okay.
that. And I'm kind of in heaven because I have always been kind of technically minded, but I'm a creative person.
Mm.
And at a certain point, I was thinking about getting into programming more seriously in my 20s, and I bought this thick book called Java just to learn, Java programming language, and it had all these like really difficult technical things in there. And I was like, that's it. I'm not a programmer. I'm a creative, right?
Page one. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
good.
Java's
Right.
brutal, by the way.
And suddenly I have this tool, Claude Code, where I can engineer things, almost anything that I want, while being mostly a creative person. And I don't know yet if any of these things are actually going to be any good. So I might just be Claude is telling me that I'm really wonderful at this, but I'm actually not. But I'll try to tell you what I'm trying to build. I think I'm building a local, information and code that tracks every single project I'm working on. So
Mm.
those projects, the tasks, the workflows. So we just had our weekly meeting, our weekly standing meeting for the studio, and my head of accounts, Alex, prepares a view into ClickUp, which is our project management system, and it
Mm.
shows like all the important things that are going on with all the projects. And I was at the same time I was in Cloud Code, and I was like, "Hey, give me an overview of like the three most important items that are going on with any of the projects." And the
Mm.
thing that it read out to me was actually, I think it was better than what my head of accounts showed in ClickUp as being the most important
Wow.
Oh,
items.
wow.
Yeah. And all I had to do was say, "Hey, can you show this to me?" And it did. And
Right.
I
Yeah.
had
Like
never
that.
asked it to do that for me
Yeah.
before.
It's
So there is
insane.
this crazy pulling in of data, email, Slack, ClickUp, all this stuff back into the center of my world, which is on my Mac. And now I'm able to do all these things with that information that previously was really hard as I was going to different browser windows, typing in little things like, "Oh, and this is my email, so I'll type these things in. And over here is my CRM, and let me type these things
Mm.
in." And it
Yep.
starts
Yep.
to make you go, "Wow, SaaS is crazy. It is crazy that I have to go to all these different places to do things with my own data."
Wow. Really freaking cool.
Well, Josh, thanks for your time. We got to wrap up here. So, where can our audience find you?
Well, you can check us out at goldfront.com. And then most people find me on LinkedIn. So Josh Lowman on LinkedIn. And I post there. I post there more when I need work. When I get super busy, I don't have time to post, but there's a lot of good content on there.
There's good content on there for sure. Yeah, that's how I found you. Yeah,
And
good
we're
stuff.
also a fan of the terrible idea section on the
Yeah,
website
Josh,
as well. So
that
that was
was
fun, by the way.
I
Just wanted to
went
say
there
that.
first. Amazing job with the
Yes.
website in general, but Terrible
Uh,
Ideas was awesome.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Good, Josh. Good
It
stuff,
was so
Josh.
nice talking with you all.
Yes. Thank you,
Yes,
Josh. Thank
you as
Okay.
you.
well.
All
Thanks
right.
for being on. Take care.
Thank you.
Hey guys, Connor here with Builders Growth Lab. If you're looking for a way to stay up to date on the latest news, trends, topics in AI and marketing, look no further. Visit us at buildersgrowthlab.ai and sign up for our newsletter today. In it, you'll find quick takeaways from our latest show, as well as simple tips on how to market your app. That's buildersgrowthlab.ai. Sign up today.
All right. Great chat with Josh. Great chat about
Yeah.
Yeah, really good chat. Really,
positioning.
really good. Mallory,
We're now
I want to know what
experts on
Mallory
positioning.
took from it. Yeah, I want to know what Mallory got from it, just being like branding,
Yeah, it's
positioning.
interesting because I guess I don't spend a ton of time thinking about the category that you place your business in. Like I guess from that, like with that word in mind, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because look, like when it comes to classic positioning, I'm always doing those exercises where it's like, okay, here is right, like here are the competitors in our landscape. Where do they fall on the X and Y axis? What does that even
Yep.
mean? And then like how do we see ourselves there? But I think sort of understanding where you place yourself as a category and then trying to either figure out how to own that category and or create a completely new category. It hasn't been a way that I've thought about positioning before. I guess I have maybe, but like haven't put a label on it per se. Maybe that's really what it is. But I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I
As
thought
someone
like
who's done this work previously.
the category stuff. He kept saying category. All I could think of was niche, right? Like
Yeah.
niching
Yeah,
down.
that's
And I
fair.
was just like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's kinda
Charlie,
what
I
I
know
heard.
you were probably thinking the same thing. I was like, all right, like he
Yeah.
means like niching. Again, category may be a bit more expansive, but it's what I got from it. And I also found it very interesting that he separated brand and then like positioning as almost two different things, which I guess makes sense, right? When he explains it, but I just
Yeah.
never really thought of it that way, right? I'm always like, oh, brand is brand
Sure.
positioning. Like I kind of just combine the two. So
Yeah, and then like, making sure that especially when you work with tech companies, so applicable to our listeners, but like how do you think about the company and brand positioning versus the product positioning? What does that product positioning look like? How do they work in tandem, right? So,
Hmm.
and he's right? Because it's like the CMO can say one thing, but then the product team's like,
Yeah, the products are like,
but we're doing this, right?
yeah, yeah.
So I think the importance of making sure that you get everyone aligned, right? Both brand, marketing,
Hmm.
and product, and of course leadership. That's an obvious, right? But makes sense to me too. But was interesting to learn.
Yeah, it was very clear that guy has been in that space for a very long time, and he has deep expertise in that. So that was pretty cool. Okay, let's jump into poopy pants. I'm curious. So Mallory being out of the country and then coming back, what gave you poopy pants in the past 7 days?
I mean, Balut for sure.
I
And
saw
everyone
that
giving me a
video.
hard time
I
about
Cut
literally,
me
to video
eating
right
Balut.
now.
oh,
Cut
you
to
know what? We
video.
should. Yeah, here's a video.
Give me a break. I
So
feel like you
I
should cut in like the photo of me like,
I
but
literally burst out laughing when I saw it. I was like, "Oh my God!" And then Austin was like, "No,
yeah.
that's like she's basically eating an embryo." And I was like, "Oh
That
God,
it. That's yes. Austin's
yeah."
right. So that gave me poopy pants and made me not want to eat anything the rest of the day, the rest of the
Mm.
trip. Like that's why I was not joking when I said I think I lost weight on this trip because um not all the food scares me, but some of it does. So uh yeah, I'm like, what else? What else bugs me? I don't know. Definitely balut though.
So what gives me poopy pants? What I don't like, I don't know, Connor, if you're this way or not, but whether I'm watching a home team or just like a general hockey game, when fans just get the blinders on. So like Team USA, for example, like
Hmm.
if we're watching a game for Team USA and a bunch of the guys at a bar and they're like, "Oh, that wasn't a penalty. That wasn't a penalty. That was a penalty." I'm like, dude, he his stick broke his fucking teeth. Like, yes, that's a penalty. That was like objectively, they're called homers, is what they're like Homer Simpson, but Homer's like you're so like dialed into like your home team that you just have blinders on and oh the refs are being paid to call penalties and they're that's what gives me poopy. I can't stand that.
Yeah,
Like
I try not to get too like that. I say that now, and then just watch me during like a Mets game or something. I'm probably like, yeah, that's terrible. But I just try not to get too wrapped up in that because all it will do is give me poopy pants. So I just like try to just like I
yeah.
just tune it out. Like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, sure. But all right, poopy pants for me. Let's see. All right. So just a little context here. I think I've explained how we might be moving, we might not, right, from our apartment that my wife and I are in. So we're checking out all these luxury buildings. What gives me poopy pants is the nickel and diming that you
Oh,
experience in some of these luxury buildings. Like we wanted to get out of here. We're just gonna stay. Smart move.
Oh, you are.
But it's like you go to these luxury buildings, they're gorgeous, they got a pool, they got a rooftop, they have all this stuff. But it's like I was like, oh, so you have bike storage? Like, yeah, bike storage for $30 extra a month. It's like,
yeah, of course.
okay.
They're
And it's like,
yeah,
oh, they say they take pets, but a pet fee is instead of a
of
one-time
course.
fee on your security deposit, it's like it's an extra 75 per pet per month. And it's like, okay. I was like, so okay, amenity fee, an extra 75 per month. I'm like, can I bring guests to the pool? They're like, only one guest. I was like, for both of us? They're
Oh,
like, yep, just one guest. I'm like, all right. So yeah, I'm gonna have someone third wheel while I'm in a pool. Like, apparently there was a waiting list. Anyway, I just don't like the kind of veiled there's not a ton of transparency with these things, right? Like they
no.
sent us over a lease that was 90 pages long. It's like, and
Ooh.
then they immediately sent us a lease and said, we need the money by tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I'm like, you guys just gave me a 90-page lease. Like,
It's insane.
I need to
Jeez.
send it to my lawyer, like at this
Yeah.
point. So
Yeah.
poopy pants over kind of it's property management in general. And I think just real estate, I think is just how that is, but very much poopy pants over lack of transparency. in that
Hmm.
industry, I guess you could call it.
I mean, but it's taking over, like even airlines, like they're gonna nickel and
Yeah,
dime you
that's the
for
way.
every little
Everything.
thing
Yeah,
they
pay
can
for air.
possibly nickel and dime you for, whereas I feel like in the past it wasn't that bad. So I feel like it's happening in other areas too, but yeah,
Yeah.
that definitely gives me poopy pants.
Very annoying.
So
Like it turned us
why wouldn't
off
you
to the
just
point.
say that stuff up front? Like it's like
Correct.
just provide a document, be like, we provide all these things, and like if they really want
We
to charge extra, then at least just be upfront.
we were there to sign the lease. Like we had like we're like, great, like we got it. And then when they sent it over
Oh,
with all the other stuff, me and like we literally looked at each other and I was like, no. I was like, I'm not
Yeah,
doing this. Like it
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
is way too, I don't know,
yeah,
scammy almost feeling.
I
So
get
didn't like
that.
it.
yeah.
I take the PDF and just upload it to Claude, and like, what are my blind spots? What are my risks? How's this look to
Yeah.
you? And it
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
it's like
So
a
we saw enough
3 point
without needing
paragraph.
to do that where we're just like, no, it's not for us. But anyway, that's my poopy pants.
I have
Well,
one more poopy pants though. I just
mm,
came up
Go
with, but
for
it
it.
has to do with the Philippines. So, um, everyone's so slow there. Like I'm walking through Manila with Kim, which I got to meet my assistant, which was really exciting.
cool.
Nice.
I'm not talking about her per se, but just like people are slow. Like they're slow to walk, they're slow to do
What
things,
about
and I'm like,
driving?
and I'm
They're pretty
so,
aggressive, aren't they? Driving, aren't they?
oh my, it stressed my dad out because
They
it's
were in
like they
Thailand.
have it's like 15 motorcycles and then cars just go right in front of you and then there's
Yeah,
jeepneys and then there's like it's just pure chaos to be
little,
honest with you.
little tuk
But
tuks.
just people just it's just not even like walking slow, but it's just like everything is slow. And so I will say,
Yeah.
look, on the other like for someone who lives in the US and is in like the central hub of tech and everything moves so fast and I think it does teach you a little bit of patience and it teaches you to slow down a little bit, which I like, but then at the same time I'm like, we're going way too slow, guys. Like let's fucking speed it
Not for
up.
me. Yeah. I'm
So
like,
yeah,
go, go,
that's my
go.
other poopy pants.
I picture you bullying like 30, 40 people. I'm just like, get the
Yeah.
fuck out of my
I
way,
was
kind
talking
of
to
thing.
Kim, like, this is how fast I walk. Like, and I will be go like this. And she's like stressed about it, and not just her. Like, I think most Filipinos would be like, why are you rushing? Like, why are
Slow
you
down.
like growing up, my mom would always be like, Mallory, you stop rushing everywhere. I'm like, Mom, I gotta go. Gotta go. Anyway.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Moving on to the last week in AI. Big news. This hit Newswire yesterday. I'm a fan of the channel. I remember his first video that he put out. The second video is when I hit subscribe. Starter Story has
Mm,
been acquired by HubSpot. Pat Walls and the team has been acquired, so congratulations to them. Connor,
that's so interesting.
yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Are you a fan of the channel? Are you like do you follow his stuff?
So somewhat, not as much as you. It sounds like. I mean, listen. I think the acquisition makes sense. I think it's more so. We kind of have our notes here and the why it matters, and it looks like HubSpot Media acquired it, and
Mhm.
and you speak to here how HubSpot is explicitly betting that the path to software customer acquisition now runs through creator-led media rather than search or paid ads,
Yeah,
and I wholeheartedly agree. And the reason being
Mm,
is because I just think as the internet's been around longer, as things like Google and Meta and Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff with ads have been around longer, people become more hip to what it is that they're seeing, right?
I know
And
where you're going. I know where you're going with this.
go finish it for me
Yeah,
then.
I think trust is just way down
It's
here.
it's definitely trust, right? So who do you trust? Do you trust the ad that says sponsored when you're in the Google search, or do you trust the person who looks like you, who could be a founder of a boutique agency, or right, like
Yeah,
the SEO person at an agency? Do you trust them when they're telling you something, right? And it doesn't feel as I don't know, salesy, right? Like marketing
yeah.
heavy or marketing forward. So I just think it was a really, really fair point to make. And listen, it's exciting for them. I think it makes all the sense in the world. And if it works out for them, then they're definitely onto something.
Mallory, what do you think?
I don't know. That's what I think.
Like you're indifferent, or you're just kind of like whatever?
I don't know. I'm kind of whatever.
You don't think it makes like a difference, like, I mean, that acquisition at all, or
I mean, I'm just kidding.
you
It
don't have to be
does.
kidding too if you don't like,
Yeah,
yeah,
No, I
it's
mean, here's what I will say. I mean, we all know this, right? Distribution with AI companies has been really difficult. And so this is a way to break through that. I almost wonder, though, how HubSpot will be able to like what that sort of content integration will look like with Starter Story. Perhaps Starter Story won't even like change drastically. I guess I'm curious on what the execution and like the follow-up will look like between this acquisition.
Yeah.
But from a distribution and media perspective, it makes sense. So I think what I'd like to see is the follow through and how it'll work. But I almost wonder too if this acquisition will be the first, like HubSpot making this move will allow other AI companies to be like, damn, like we really should be acquiring other media companies or creators. Because they don't have a distribution network and they do, and so they'll pay big bucks and big money to basically make that happen. And that's fine, but then it's like once again the follow through, like how does that actually then work in a way that still resonates with, you know, the Starter Story audience or that creator's audience, and in a way that's going to actually convert to being a paid customer or a user for HubSpot for said platform that acquired the creator or the media company. So that is where I'm curious on what the follow through will kind of look like. But from a distribution standpoint, it makes sense.
He said in the newsletter, which is where I found out yesterday morning, that the content really isn't supposed to change.
Okay.
Which I think is great.
Well, then that's great because I think that's where like things could be a little bit. It won't be great if we're trying to kind of take the content and turn it into something that it's not, and that's super favorable for the brand and doesn't feel authentic or genuine or relatable or any of the feelings that, you know, viewers kind of feel when they're watching Starter Story videos, for example. So yeah, I guess we'll see. But I was kind of joking about the whatever piece, like makes sense. So more so want to see what the follow through is like.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Like I said, I hit subscribe on the second video I watched. The second video was a kid, I say kid, his early 20s, who was a contractor and he would just make YouTube videos for people.
Yeah.
He had a service provider.
Yeah.
Business that would do that.
And I think HubSpot I think they already have someone on board that does like all of their YouTube videos and like they do quite well in terms of educate. They do, and they have someone that is like the face and of HubSpot. And so I think to some extent, like they already have a really good idea of how to approach content.
That's cool.
From what I've seen.
Yeah, I've been a fan every Saturday morning for not so much the past couple months. Every Saturday morning, and I think you drop them on Thursdays too. I would watch the videos, and it was actually one of the ideas. I think that's how I got the idea for this podcast. Is like every single video they would touch on, how did you get customers? How did you get customers? What was your acquisition playbook? And like that was the pain point was distribution and acquisition. So yeah, congrats to him, to Pat Walls, and
huge.
Yeah, big news. Good for them. So point two, and I thought this was just awesome. I thought it was so funny, so petty, just poopy pants on a global scale.
Oh boy.
An AI summit in India, Sam Altman and Dario do not hold hands for a picture. Yes, we're blowing this up. Yes, this is conversation topic for us. It's just more content for us to talk about. I thought that was so funny. And for those that follow us, you've seen the picture.
Wait, I need to see. I haven't seen the. I need to see the.
You haven't seen the picture yet?
It just sounds like a big dick measuring contest, dude.
Oh, it's so petty.
It's just like
that's the definition of poopy pants right there. Like,
oh, I see the photo.
Everybody's in hands.
What Sam Altman said, he was like confused about what was going on. That was his response.
Yeah, that was his PR team's response.
Yeah,
and that was right after.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, OpenClaw acquired Peter, so they got the last laugh. Daria, I mean, who really knows, right? I'm sure it's taken out of context, but I thought that was pretty funny.
I mean, I'm not surprised. They're not super friendly. They're massive competitors.
Yeah, Daria used to work there with his sister, right?
Yeah, like they have every right to not want to do that if they don't want to. And like, are we surprised? That's the thing.
Why were they next to each other? Why could you just move them around?
That I also agree with. But like, I can see why they I don't know their relationship, but I can understand why they would feel that way.
Oh, 100. Yeah. I remember this is when I was like 10 or 12. I got
It's
cut from
kind
a
of
hockey
funny.
team. Yeah. I got cut from a hockey team, and the kid that made it, I didn't talk to the kid for like 2.5 years because I still have poopy pants from that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. F you, Ryan. Anyways, yeah, I saw that. I just burst out laughing. And of course, Reddit blows it up. And
Of course. And X, I'm sure.
yeah,
It's
it was
where the AI community lives and breathes. So,
yeah.
I guess it's like, I'm not surprised. These two are not going to want to like hold hands, and be buddy buddy in that way. And to your point, yeah, they actually worked together in the past, right? So,
Yeah.
and now they're a massive competitor. So, yeah.
Last bit here is Google VP says LLM wrappers and aggregators are dead. This was from February 21st.
Oh.
It was an article in TechCrunch. His name is Darren Mallory. Told TechCrunch Equity that thin wrappers and model aggregators have their check engine light on. Only startups with deep moats will survive, cited Cursor and Harvey as exceptions.
Yeah, so this is interesting.
He's spot on, 100%.
Yeah.
We've been saying this for like the past couple months too. It's
I
like,
mean,
build
look,
the
it's like
moat,
everyone
build your
can
channels.
build your moat. Like anyone can build now. I think the Snapchat CEO just came out and was like talking about how they're kind of reorienting their team to in responsive AI, and that like now anyone can build any platform. And so you have to have like some amount of like taste or in terms to keep people around or some sort of moat, right? So, to keep people around, because I'm like, if people hate the internet so much at this point, what's going to stop people from being like, you know what? Screw a platform like Discord. I'm just going to build my own mini version of it, invite my friends to it and call it a day.
Yeah.
Right. That's going to start happening. And so these companies need to either like build deep communities, or they have to have such a great sense of taste and aesthetics, or right, like something that's going to like actually keep people around,
Positioned correctly.
but
Yeah.
the moat is important. And it's not just the moat. The moat used to be like, okay, build the product and they'll come, or build the best product, or we're the only folks in the category to build such product, right? Or to have the product, when it's like anyone can make it now. So, and yes,
I think
distribution is a problem, but like not everyone's going to want to build like to create a company. Some people are just going to build so they have another alternative to what they've been using, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's just a product of oversaturation too. I mean, again, to get the wrapper going on I mean, it's so easy now, right? It's I just think there's way too much. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been saying it for months. Well, cool. That wraps up episode 40 of Builders Growth Lab podcast. Find us on YouTube, find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you consume your podcasts. We are there. We'll be back next week. We'll drop Thursday. And our guest next week is Maurice Harari. He tells us, this was wild. Is
this Robert's brother?
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool
Okay.
dude,
Ferrari, like Ferrari.
Yep. Cool guy too. He talks about how the U.S. government can be your best customer, which I was like,
Oh boy.
what the hell are you talking about?
Okay.
And then
That's
he,
interesting.
yeah, he like kind of laid it out, and I was like, oh, okay, there's an RFP process.
Oh.
Yep.
They put
yeah,
that
there's a
out.
whole process to like get
Yeah,
like
they
state
put
and
out,
government
like-
contracts, man.
like all kinds of contracts. Like they want
very
people to do-
interesting. I
yeah,
wonder who's using AI for that then.
yeah.
Cool.
So, tune in next week, and that does it for this episode. Peace.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.